Calvary family. I'm Becky Widmer. I've been attending Calvary for over 20 years now, and I am a part of the women's ministry team here. Today I'd like to share my testimony with you and open the book with you. For some of you who know me know that I have multiple sclerosis, or MS for short. I was diagnosed 7 years ago, and for those of you who do not know, MS is an autoimmune disease that likes to attack the body and nerves. It also causes lesions within the brain and spinal cord. There is no known cure or cause for multiple sclerosis. 5 years ago, during a rough doctor's appointment, the doctor sat down with my mom and I and told us if we could not find a medication to slow down the MS, I would be in a wheelchair in 5 years. After about a year after that, Kat and I had a chat. It was late at night. I had just put my son and daughter to bed, and I began to cry and yell at God. Why me? Why would you allow me to have this? Why would you allow my children to have to deal with a sick mom? Why me? And then I prayed and I asked God to show me something, anything, that he was still there. And then I opened my Bible. It opened to Revelation 21, verses 1 through 7, and I'd like to share that with you now. And then I saw a new heaven and a new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and the sea was no more. And then I saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from the heaven from God, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, Behold, the dwelling place of God is with man. He will dwell with them, and they will be his people, and God himself will be with them as their God. He will wipe away every tear from their eye, and death shall be no more. Neither shall there be mourning, nor crying, nor pain any more, for the former things have passed away. And he who was seated on the throne said, Behold, I am making all things new. And he said, Write this down, for these words are trustworthy and true. And he said to me, It is done. I am the Alpha, the Omega. I am the beginning and the end. To the thirsty I will give from the spring of water of life without payment. The one who conquers will have this heritage, and I will be his God, and he will be my son. This is the point my dad would say I got hit by God's 2x4. You see, the book of Revelation is God showing John what is to come, what heaven looks like, and what it will look like, what the end of times is going to be like. But this particular chapter, God has shown that he will conquer sin and what new heaven and new earth will look like. And that the promises he is fulfilling that we have been eagerly awaiting this whole time as believers of God. For me, this chapter was hope. It was relief, and it was nothing short of a whole lot of God's grace and mercy. That today is just temporary, that the pain, while it hurts and everything, is temporary. Now, verse 4 has become my life verse. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and death shall be no more. Neither shall there be mourning, nor crying, nor pain, for the former things have passed away. Wow. He's promising me that this is not forever. He's promising you this is not forever. But it doesn't mean as believers that we get an easy journey. In fact, it promises for a lot of hardships. 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 16 and 19 say, Yet if anyone suffers as a Christian, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify God in that name. Therefore, let anyone who suffers according to God's will entrust their souls to their faithful Creator while doing good. That night I went from angry to hopeful. God showed me once again, he is there in my storm, and I am not forgotten. I gave up my need to fix my MS and heal myself and gave it to God. I asked him to use me, not leave me useless, whether it was in a wheelchair or not. That if it was his will to heal me, or if it was his will not to heal me, that it would be okay, just as long as I could be used for his glory. December will be 5 years since that appointment that I was told I would be in a wheelchair. God has given me multiple sclerosis medication to slow it down so far. And I have not used a cane since January. God is good. I still have good and bad days with MS, but I've seen how He's using it for His glory. I am daily reminded that He's got this, and this is just a moment. Our pains are temporary, and the storms are just a moment. But God has plans for us. He will use us even at our weakest. We all have pain. No one is smaller or greater than the other. Physical, emotional, and mental health, loss of a job, loss of a loved one, unsure of where our next paycheck is coming from, issues with our children, all pains are equal in God's eyes. And they are important to Him, just like you are. But these are all temporary to the eternal peace and joy that is to come. God bless you, my friends. Good night.